Magic Valley's home for country, Cat Country 106. Scotty and Gina in the morning. George Strait and Twang.
Love George.
Love a little twang, that's right. Time for us to get into our interview. We've got Tim Rushlow from Little Texas on the phone. Good morning, Tim. How are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So I introduced you as Tim Rushlow with Little Texas, but you're in the group now. You're doing the frontmen of country, correct?
Yeah, it's weird how it's kind of, I guess the historical 30 seconds or less was, after my days with Little Texas, which was a great run. I didn't realize maybe quite how successful we were until it was over. When you're living in a fish tank, it's hard to see outside of the tank.
It is.
But it was really a blessing. What a great success story to go from a band that played bars from coast to coast for years and work our way up to getting a record deal and have 10 years of hits. And I'm very proud of everything we accomplished. And then I a solo career for a little bit, and then actually I have a PBS TV special airing as we speak with a 22-piece big band, which is sort of the love of my life. I love the Sinatra and Bobby Darin and all that, and I do that. But I was missing an element in my life, being able to still pay homage to my country past. And Larry Stewart from Russell's Heart and then Richie McDonald from Lone Star, we all sat down one day, and they're like, man, we should do some shows together. And then that's kind of how it started. So it depends on people's schedule. We've been doing these on and off, playing for the troops overseas every year on an annual tour, but doing, a few casinos when we can, because everybody's schedule's busy. But, Larry Stewart from Russell's Heart and myself, of course, formerly of Little Texas, were available along with we actually met our concert violinist in the Middle East. He's an Army combat veteran. His name is Donnie Reese, and he is a bad man on the violin. I don't know anybody better, but when you get me and Larry in a room and we just kind of ping-pong back and forth playing hit after hit after hit on our acoustic guitars and then have Donnie on the violin with us, I mean, it just takes all the oxygen out of the room. It's an amazingly intimate, hit-filled night where, unlike the full production when our bands play, we get to tell the stories behind the songs. And quite frankly, half the night there's not a dry eye in the house. People are just touched. And it really is a great, intimate show. I mean, it's no baloney. It's people ask us all the time, God, you guys look like you're having a blast up there. And I'm like, well, we are. It's awesome.
Well, and you guys have been touring together for quite some time, because I believe it was back in 2007, Little Texas and Russell's Heart. You guys played our Cassia County Fair together.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm no longer in Little Texas. They are touring still, and I wish them nothing but the best. But yeah, I kind of had my fill, and I started the band. I named the band, was the lead singer and the front man for all of our years of having hits, and I want them to make a great living and be able to support their families, and they're out doing what they got to do, and I think that's off the hook great. Russell's Heart is celebrating their 35th anniversary with all original members, and they're doing great as well. And so I'm thrilled with that, but I really felt like I needed to kind of make my own path. I've actually got I can't announce it yet, but I will say that I've got a major network television show that I'll be hosting this fall on network television, which is pretty awesome. I wish I could give you more details, but I can't. But, at 50 years old, I was young. When Little Texas started, man, I was 19 and had a mullet. I mean, it was,
business in the front, party in the back.
So, exactly. So, hey, at least I got the business in the front still. I still had some hair.
Right.
So that's worked to my advantage. And but I'm just really happy with the way things have worked out. I'm able to still play some of my country stuff, and I'm very proud of. And, I didn't realize until probably the last 3 or 4 years that, when you take Bluest Eyes in Texas, and then I sing What Might Have Been, and then he sings, Why Did It Have to Be Wrong or Right, and then I sing God Bless Texas, or What Might Have, or Amy's Back in Austin, or, those 22 songs of mine that were hit songs are the soundtrack of people's lives, and they're from an era, that Russell's Heart and Little Texas really do have a common thread that runs through those bands, and those songs are a soundtrack to people's lives, and they're special. And when you play them in an intimate setting and get to share those stories, you just kind of watch people melt, and it's I don't have to hype it. It just is what it is. It's just a really cool, and I tell you what, there's not a better venue than what the venue you guys have there close to you. People are spoiled there if they think that's available all across the country, because it's not. Having a place where you can go, whether it's in a casino or not, that's got an intimate showroom where you can really see a show and get up close and personal it's a treasure. And I love playing there. So we're just excited to come and spend a couple of days and do this. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you're right. And you're talking about, the recognition and things going and moving and transforming. I've got to ask, you got to tell me about how it was playing at the inauguration and for the Trumps there.
I'll be honest. I took a lot of heat for that, and I don't take it back. I got asked. I didn't really mean to get thrust into the national limelight, but I certainly did quickly. I got a call on December the 10th, and it was actually Mark Burnett, the TV producer. He's like, "Hello, Tim. This is Mark Burnett," and I thought it was a joke. It's Saturday afternoon. I'm watching football with my son, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure, okay, Mark, how you doing there, buddy?" I'm thinking it's a friend of mine, And then I heard this other name. He says, "Hey, I've got Doug DeAngelis, my music supervisor, with me." And I know Doug, and that's what I went. Doug goes, "Hey, Tim, it's us. It's real. We just got off the phone with Mr. Trump." And I'm like, "Yeah?" He goes, "He saw your PBS special, and he said that somebody forgot to tell you you're not Bobby Darin." and he asked if you would be interested in bringing your big band and playing the inauguration and giving him and the First Lady their first dance. And then he also wanted to know if you and the front man would want to play at the memorial concert and just do a couple tunes, maybe a medley of your hits, and then join Lee Greenwood and sing "God Bless the USA." And my response was absolutely. And in all my interviews after that, whether it was Rolling Stone, Billboard, or Vogue, I mean, you name it, when you're in the spotlight like that, they all want to talk to you.
Oh, exactly.
And so I took all the calls, and of course there was a lot of people that were mad, a lot of people that had questions, and my answer was the same. Like, look, I am not a politician. I'm a musician. I'm an entertainer. That's my gift. I'm here to help unite people, and I don't feel like we're acting real united right now. Matter of fact, we're kind of still not. But I said, if music can be the one thing that people hear, you can't have a political view in music. Now, you could write a song about it, but I mean, as far as everybody hears music the same. So let me bring some music. Yeah, let me just bring music and let it just hopefully let everybody unite. And so that's kind of where I planted my stake, and it worked, and it was a real cool thing. I don't mind saying that I had to, here in Tennessee, in Nashville, I got a call from Secret Service while I was in D.C., and they had to literally come put police cars around the clock, around my house, around my family, because we were receiving threats. It was pretty unusual, to go through something like that because it was such a contested election. But, looking back, I'm proud of what I did. I got asked, I remember when Vogue asked me, what would you have done if Hillary had won? And I said the exact same thing. When I get asked to play for the troops overseas in Afghanistan, or I get asked by a commander-in-chief, I'm going to say yes to that because I'm an American, and I'm an American first. I'm not some crazy Democrat or some crazy Republican. I'm just an American, and I want to do what I have to do for my country. And if I'm asked to do that, I'll always say yes. And so that was just sort of where I left it. I didn't get political. I just kind of tried to keep it that, hey, I'm blessed. I get to sing in a country and sing about whatever I want to sing about, and there's a real freedom in that people just take for granted. You guys, you're on the radio talking about whatever you want to talk about and playing all the songs you love and songs that your listeners want to hear and request. That's freedom. People, I think they seem to forget what a blessing that is. There are countries you could fly into right now where you're not getting the freedom to listen to the radio.
Nope, not at all.
Or to hear what you want to hear. So I think it's those little things to me that mattered, and that's why I said yes, and it was a real honor. I will say, President Trump was very kind. I will say he shook my hand. He says, "Tim, I appreciate you accepting my invitation." I said, "Yes, sir, you're welcome, Mr. President." And he said, "I just want you to know it's going to be a great 8 years." And I always thought, man, that's pretty confident, but way to go. So it was a great experience, and I wouldn't take it back. Singing with snipers above you, looking down at 1 million people in the memorial, Lincoln Memorial, was pretty crazy for the front man. We had a great time, but yeah, I can't say enough about it. It was really it was an interesting event, and but I will say, not as powerful or as meaningful as it is landing on an aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf and playing on the USS Bush or the USS Stennis or the Lincoln. The front men, we've landed on 7 aircraft carriers in the middle of the Persian Gulf, and we've been around the world 7 times, and we'll go every time we're asked. And it's not safe. It's not. I mean, it's safe, but it's you are putting yourself in an area where they're Afghanistan's at war. And I can tell you firsthand, having been there and played at the most forward operating base for 100 Special Forces soldiers being flown in with SEAL Team 6 on 2 Blackhawks to play with our acoustic guitars and hand out some near beer and some burgers to some guys and giving them an hour of songs. And we think we're there to bring them a slice of home, and we got a slice of home.
Was that FOB Shank?
What's that again?
Was that Shank? Forward operating base Shank.
Oh, no. I'm not allowed to say where it was, but it was not.
It was not.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was not. But I will say this, there was we did 2 of those a day, and there were times we were not in a safe place in the slightest, So, and I'll say that in my opinion, from having been there and had boots on the ground there, it not boots as long as they do. I'm just there with a guitar. I'm not there with a gun. Although I would have happily picked one up if I needed it. But those guys are there to keep that stuff there and keep it from coming here, and I recognize that. And so I'm honored to go play for them and let them know that we love them and appreciate them and want to honor them in their service.
So speaking of the frontmen, you guys have a brand new song that you put out last month, and it was called "If It Wasn't for the Radio." You want to kind of describe that one?
Yeah, we never really planned on recording anything. We just thought we would be kind of a specialty act that would do concerts in between all of our busy schedules. And then this song got sent to me from a friend, Pamela Needham, and she said, "Hey, I got this song that a friend of mine wrote. I just think you should listen to it for the front men." And I'll be honest, I kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, well, we're not really a recording act. We don't have a record deal. That's really not what we're going to do. But I'll listen to it. And I heard it, and I got a lump in my throat. And I sent it to Larry Stewart, and I sent it to Richie McDonald from Lone Star, and I said, "Guys, what do you think about this song?" And they immediately called me. They didn't email me back. They called me and went, "We have got to record this song." And I said, "Yeah, we do." And I love the idea that this song allows us, we've been at this 25 years. And so to get to say to radio, hey, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have a career. I wouldn't have a job. So thank you for playing our music, and thanks to the fans for caring enough to call a radio station up and say, "Hey, this song touches me. Please play that for me." There's an art and a beauty that goes with that. And it's never been tapped, in my opinion, in a song before. So if it wasn't for the radio, taps into our way to say thank you to radio and thank you to the fans. At the same time, allow it to say really thank you for letting us be the soundtrack of your life, because we didn't know when we were doing it that we were, but we know now, that we're a little bit older, looking back, that these songs mattered, and they still matter. And there's a reason why What Might Have Been still gets played on the radio, or, I'll Still Be Loving You, or Blue as Ice in Texas. And, all those songs are coming to town, and we're bringing it. We can't wait to get there and see you guys. I sure appreciate your time. You guys have been way nice on allowing me to yap at you today. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. We appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. It's a win-win, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, I hope to see you soon, and if you guys need anything, you got my number. Let me know.
All right, will do. Thank you so much for taking the time, and you be safe, and we're looking forward to seeing you.
See you soon, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.